This week we have two parshas. We have the parsha Bahar and the parsha B'chukaysai. Before I start, I just wanted to specifically give a shout out for Sarah Scholl, my dear friend and neighbor, who sent me an email this past week, and she asked me where my videos were. And I decided that I'd get back on track this weekend, bring a video. So this week's parsha, we have the prohibition, or one of this week's parshas, we have the prohibition of ribis. Ribis is when a person lends money to another person, another Jew, I should say, between Jew and Jew. A Jew lends another Jew money, and he specifies that there will be interest on the loan. He lends him $50 and says that if you keep that money for the next month, you're going to pay me $10. If you keep it for the year, let's say, it'll be 10%. You have to pay me above what I'll lend you, $110. That is clearly biblical prohibition. Not only that, the Mefarshim say that there are many indications that this is one of the most severe transgressions in the Torah. The question, though, to me, at first glance, just at a very simple look at just what is the issue with lending on interest, is that you would say that the reason why it's prohibited is because we're all brothers, we're all sisters, and we should not be lending our fellow Jew money and making money off it. It's wrong. You shouldn't be making money off of your fellow Jew. Well, that's not true. That's clearly not true. We know that, in fact, it's encouraged to give business to other Jews because you're allowing them to make a parnasa, to have the ability to support their family, to profit off of your purchases. So profiting off of other Jews is not a problem. In fact, it's encouraged. So why is ribis? Why, when we talk about cash, lending cash, liquid money to other people and producing an income in that fashion, in that manner, why is that something which is so severe and it's considered a terrible thing to do? So the Kli Yakar explains like this. He says that the vehicle of lending on interest is that you have a guaranteed return on your investment. You know exactly what you're going to get. So if a person has a lot of money and he wants to live comfortably for the rest of his life, right, he can just lend his money to someone else and he'll live off the interest. In fact, many people do this. There are many different names for it, but they have different investment vehicles where a person can put a bunch of money in some type of fund or some type of annuity, and he'll be comfortable the rest of his life because he's going to live off of the interest for the rest of his life. The problem is, the Kli Yakar says, is that we are lacking bitachon. We feel that we need to have some type of device, some type of vehicle that can be our ATM machine for the rest of our life. In fact, it's Hashem who gives us the money. And if we have this mindset of all I need to do is lend money or deposit some money into some type of fund and always get the money back for the rest of my life, I'll never have to worry about what? Trusting in God, because I can trust in my fund. Well, that's obviously something which we understand why it's a grave transgression, because we're removing bitachon, trust in God, from our lives. Now, contrast that with someone who opens a business. He doesn't know how many apples he'll sell, or how many computers he'll sell, or how much profit he'll be able to make off of them. So despite the fact that he has to make money off of other people, but he still has bitachon. He still has to trust in God that the sales will go through, that the supply line won't break. These are all things that create an element of question to his income, but because of that, he has bitachon, he has trust in God. That's what the Kli Yakar says. Just to add to that, there is a pasuk in Mishlei that says that a person who is eager to gather wealth, there will be a lack that enters into his system. There will be a vacuum which he will feel strongly as a result of his eagerness to accumulate wealth. The Mefarshim say that this person, that Mishle, that King Solomon is referring to, is a person who lends with ribbis, who lends on interest. And because he lends on interest, not only will he not have the security that he was so eager to get involved with, that the security of having a specific amount of interest being given to him over time, he will feel the lack of security. Why is that? It's very simple. Person who lends with ribbis has no bitachon, right? He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't trust that God will give him what he needs. Well, what happens because of that? He thinks he has to rely on Fidelity or Morgan Stanley or Wells Fargo. But unfortunately, sometimes these big institutions will fail too. Or even if they don't fail, he'll be worried that they will fail. And he won't have the comfort that he was so eager to seek by lending out his money with ribbis, with interest that's specific. And now he lacks, not only does he lack bitachon, he doesn't trust in God, he's nervous every day. Now he has to buy insurances for his investments. And he has to buy something else to make sure that if this fails, he'll have something else. Then he has to pay someone to make sure that he knows how to do it exactly, so he has 20 different fail-safe systems. And when he sleeps at night, he thinks about, maybe I should do one more fail-safe system. So not only does a person who lends with interest lack bitachon, he's not going to even get what he was looking for. He's going to lose the serenity of a person who has to go to work every day and trust that he's somehow going to make a profit, that somehow people are going to come into his store and buy something. That is what the verse is teaching us. Have a great Shabbos, and I hope everybody will stay safe.